things you may not talk about often that you deal with daily. For some of us, it may be the fear of failure. For others of us, it may be the fear of success. For some of us, it may be the lack of self-worth. For others of us, it may be the fear of our past catching up with us. Whatever your anxiety or fear may be today, just know that you are in a room full of people who aren't perfect, who are daily working towards better. You are not by yourself. Here's a healthy insight. What if fear isn't the enemy? Hear me. What if a moderate measure of fear is permitted to keep us aware of our surroundings, cognizant of danger, and respectful of authority? Could it be that there's a difference between fear and the spirit of fear? The spirit of fear is overwhelming. The spirit of fear is purposed to try to persuade us to believe that whatever we are facing, whatever we are dealing with, and whatever we are attempting to conquer is bigger than our God. Yeah, the spirit of fear is sent to convince us that we have no power. It's sent to convince us that love makes us vulnerable and exposes us to harm and betrayal. The spirit of fear comes to overwhelm us, cloud our thoughts, and convince us that we have no control over our minds. But God has not given us the spirit of fear. In fact, he has given us the complete opposite. He has given us power, love, and a sound. Everybody ain't gonna be happy about your promotion. Everybody ain't gonna be excited about your glow up. Everybody ain't gonna be running laps about your miracle. Somebody scream, so what? Walk in it anyway, glow up anyway, run laps for yourself. Child, bye. Some of us will experience so much freedom once we realize it's impossible to make everybody happy. Or to make everybody understand, or to make everybody agree. Some of us in this room right now have been trying to convince people of this and convince people of that and make them understand your position and make them understand your plan. Can I free you up today? Everybody ain't gonna be on your team. Everybody ain't gonna be on your side. And everybody ain't gonna walk through this situation with you. There are some heights that God will take you to that some people can't go with you because they can't breathe up there. Time to reset. Rest is a place where we reset. It's the place where we reboot, recharge. It's impossible to fight if you have no strength. Where my fighters at? How many of y'all done lost before? I guarantee you it's because you're the one that had the least strength. One of the definitions of rest is to pause. You have just stepped into a season of rest from your enemies. Honey, if you have to take 2 days of vacation leave, pack the kids up, get a room downtown at the Holiday Inn, pack bologna sandwiches and watch the kids run through Centennial Park for free, just do something. Sleep in, have a staycation, pull up Netflix and binge watch series until you fall asleep. Whatever you do, don't miss this season of rest. Some of y'all have not rested in years. Ooh. For some of us, this is challenging because we're so used to being in control. We're so used to being busy, we've forgotten how to rest. Some of us are so controlled by impulsive anxieties that we make up stuff to do. Y'all know any of them kind of people? Just sit down. They've attached a name to it now called ADHD. Well, today we take authority over ADHD by the power that's in the name of Jesus, and we declare that we have power over any disorder that would come to steal this season of rest. You ever met anybody who just has to find something to fix? Those people who just gotta help, they have to assist. They make you want to say, man, I'm good. I honestly don't need your help. They just busy. We have anxieties of good intentions. God is really calling you to work with children's ministry, but you are so sold on being the head armor bearer. Good intentions. God is really saying stay on the job you're on just a little while longer, but you are sold on quitting your job to pursue being an entrepreneur. Good intentions. God is really saying don't touch your savings right now, but you are convinced you need a new car. Anxiety makes it difficult to discern the difference between what is the true will of God and what is simply another act of good intentions. Anxiety of good intentions can potentially place you outside of the will of God. Good intention can even sometimes be misleading to the trusted voices in your life. Anxiety will have you thinking stuff like this: if I don't do it, who will? I know I'm talking to here. If I don't pay for it, who will? If I don't send it to them, who will? I'm the only one they'll listen to. I'm the only one who can get through to them. I heard the Lord tell me this loud and clear: I am not out of options. It's time to let go of those anxieties. You are not the only one God can use to reach that family member. He is not out of options. You are not the only one God can use to run that ministry. He is not out of options. What a blessing it is to have people in your life who can hear God for you. Sometimes it's just good to have those people who can hear God for us when we may be a little distracted by our desires. Can I just take a sidebar right here and say to those of us who are concerned about taking care of God's house, God is just as concerned about taking care of your house. I know sometimes you may feel like it's gone unnoticed, but I came to tell you that God is concerned about your house. The countless hours, the sacrifices, the work and grinding are not in vain. And I heard God say, I'm about to build you a house. Where my prophetic believers at? I heard the Lord say, I'm about to build you a house. I don't know who that's for, but your work has not been in vain. Your heart for God's house will be rewarded. Listen, I know you got plans for things, and it may seem like it's not happening when or how you want it to happen. I know there are promises over your life you can't see at this point, and you don't understand how it's going to work out. But the Lord told me to tell you this: remember our history. I just need somebody in here who has a history with Jesus Christ to think back to those moments when you thought it was all over. Just like he told David, I hear him saying to us today, I've been with you wherever you have gone. He's saying, I was with you when you packed your bags and moved to another state just on a word from God. He says, I was with you when you didn't know how you were going to pay your rent, but somehow the money was there every single time. I hear the Lord saying, I was with you when you went through that divorce and you thought you would lose your mind. I'm the same God now that I was back then. I know you got big plans, and it may seem that God isn't moving at your pace, but Hakuna Matata, God is instructing you to remember those moments in the midnight hour when he visited you and gave you faith to move forward in that thing that you couldn't do. He's the same God right now. The same God who caused the blind to see is the same God who's controlling your situation. The same God who caused the lame to walk is the same God who's controlling your destiny. The same God who caused the dead to rise is the same God who is controlling your heart's desire. I dare somebody to take a moment right now and think back to that season when nobody else could help you out of that situation. You called mama, you called daddy, you called your friends, you tried to talk to your spouse, but nobody was able to help you in that moment. I need somebody to think back to when Jesus right in that dark space, and he came to your rescue. I need somebody to think back to that moment when you thought you couldn't pay your bills, you thought you couldn't take care of your children. How was you going to put food on the table? How were you going to put a roof over their head? And every single time he's came in and stepped in right in the nick of time. I need somebody who has history with Jesus Christ to raise up your voices if he's been with you. He's an accountable God. He's a faithful God. He's a consistent God. And I came to tell you, he's not going to leave you right where you are. Trust him in this season. Walk with him in this season.